Welcome. I, 27 female, made a terrible mistake by cheating on my husband, 30 male. It happened 4 months ago when I reconnected with a friend who dropped by my workplace for his personal business. It was the first time we saw each other since the world went to shit and was honestly such a pleasant surprise. Then, he dropped by my station several times over the next few weeks, and on the last occasion, he brought me flowers which threw me off. He apologized, but we messaged each other later on in the day, and he expressed his interest in me then and said he was going to wait for my reply. I was confused, but my body was feeling things that I had forgotten it could feel. It had been so long since my husband could make me feel those feelings. We had been together for 6 years and married for 2 at the time. I turned everything over in my head, and the following day, I gave him my word. Then we started on a journey of lying, cheating, deceit behind our spouses' backs. But after 3 weeks, we came to an agreement to mutually end it as we felt it was morally wrong. We relapsed and had sex on 2 more occasions. But since then, we've well and truly stayed clear of each other's paths. 2 days ago, my former affair partner's fiancee sent me a text saying she knew what we were up to and she's going to make sure my life from thereupon would be hell. I panicked and immediately confessed everything to my husband before she did and warped narratives. He had just gotten up. He worked shifts and was disgruntled at first but listened silently. He didn't utter a single word and left the house without a word afterwards. He came back at night drunk. He's never come home drunk before and started shouting, calling me names, and throwing things. I feared for my safety and I called the cops. When they came, he was subdued, but then he started ranting about my affair to the 2 cops like it's any of their business. I was embarrassed and feeling disrespected, so I told the cops that he was getting violent, but they, both of them were male by the way, didn't really seem all that concerned for me. They didn't really say much and left soon after. After that, I packed and left to stay at one of my friends' place. Now, here's my dilemma. I know how much my actions hurt him, but I still firmly do believe this is redeemable. My husband has always been the tender, forgiving type to begin with, so here's what I think are in my favor. 1, I had already stopped my affair weeks ago. I stopped it on my own volition because I was concerned for my husband's feelings. I stopped to spare his feelings, basically. 2, I confessed on my own. Though I was backed into a corner, I still did it myself before a third party outed me, and I've been on these subs for a while now, and I know these 2 factors have merit. The problem is, how do I convince him to consider these 2 points? How can I change his resentment and make him let me into the house again? He's still refusing to let me in, saying it's not a marital property. He refuses to go to therapy and has threatened he's hired an attorney. I hope it's not for divorce. I feel helpless and don't know how to discuss these issues with him. I have no successful relationship examples in my life. All my relationships ended with infidelity on either or both ends. My idealized perceptions of marriage are shattered. What do I do now? How can I salvage this? Comments. You are responsible for the consequences of your actions. If I were in his position, I would carefully consider various ways to legally disadvantage you during the divorce process. Whether or not I would ultimately choose to pursue those options, I'm uncertain. However, it is clear that you appear to merit the outcomes that come your way. I understand the sentiment of longing for affection and not receiving it within the confines of a relationship. I can relate to that as a woman. However, if you find yourself in such a situation, it's important to first attempt to address the issue within the relationship instead of seeking comfort elsewhere. I have experienced moments where I felt neglected and labeled my partner as uncaring. But in reality, we both played a role in the problem. It's crucial for both individuals to engage in open and extensive discussions about their emotions. When conflicts arise, it's important to approach them calmly and insist on resolving them through dialogue, rather than resorting to yelling or expressing a desire to cheat. Such behavior will likely lead to long-lasting animosity. Forgiveness may be possible, but the memory of the betrayal will endure. It's essential to recognize that you've contributed to the current situation and must face its consequences. Story 2. I acknowledge that I may face significant criticism for my actions, as they are inexcusable. The purpose of the following explanation is not to seek sympathy, support, or justify my behavior. Nor am I trying to portray myself as a victim. I simply want to share my story so that you can understand my situation and offer advice on how to address the damage I've caused. Last night, I, 25 female, slept with another guy, 20s, who is not my boyfriend, 24 male. I haven't yet informed my boyfriend about what happened, and I'm consumed by guilt. He's an amazing boyfriend and my closest friend. The decision to cheat stems from some negative experiences I've had in the past. Let me provide some context. I had my first relationship at the age of 15. I felt an indescribable excitement and attraction towards this boy. However, my parents have strict expectations regarding the race and religion of my partner, and they verbally and emotionally abused me because he did not meet their criteria. My boyfriend at the time, now my ex, also began treating me differently. He constantly belittled me about my declining academic and athletic performance, which was a direct result of the mistreatment I faced at home. Eventually, he broke up with me, saying incredibly hurtful and demeaning things about my achievements. I was overwhelmed by shame from both ends, and I continued to seek therapy to cope with it. 2 years ago, I made the decision to date someone who A, cared deeply for me, and B, met my parents' religious and racial requirements. I feel safe with him because I know I won't experience the same pain. He's become my closest friend, does everything to make me happy, and I genuinely love him. However, I've never felt the same level of excitement or attraction towards him as I did with my ex initially. I miss that feeling so much that it brings me to tears, but I also fear it because it's made me vulnerable in the past. But recently, I feel that excitement again. After 5 years, it resurfaced. There's a guy in my class whom I met a month ago. After an exam, we went out and ended up passionately kissing on his bed. I ended up spending the night with him. It was the first time I engaged in such behavior driven by personal attraction, as opposed to seeking safety as I did with my first boyfriend. I've been feeling incredibly guilty and have been physically ill all day, due to the overwhelming sense of remorse for what I've done to my boyfriend. My past experiences are not his fault, and I've destroyed so much. The memories we shared, the times he supported me through difficult times. I've made it all meaningless. He is unaware of the situation, but I have caused him immense pain. I wish none of this ever happened. I hope someone wiser than me can help me navigate through the consequences of my actions. Thank you for taking the time to read my story. In my perspective, the best course of action is to honestly confess to your boyfriend and accept the consequences, whatever they may be. It's important to give him the space and time he needs to process the situation. While there is a possibility that he may forgive you and choose to continue the relationship, you should also be prepared for the possibility that he may not want to be with you anymore. Regardless of the outcome, use this experience as an opportunity for personal growth and learning to become a better person. Comments. Firstly, I apologize for the pain you're going through. It's essential that you inform your boyfriend about what happened. Additionally, it's important to explain why it happened, as he deserves to make an informed decision about whether he wants to continue the relationship. He needs to understand that it's not just the act of cheating he has to overcome, but also the fact that your feelings for him are not as strong as they should be. Life can be messy, and sometimes it takes an ugly turn. However, it's crucial to remember that you are not inherently evil for your actions. You made a mistake, a significant breach of trust within your relationship. Nevertheless, in the larger context of life, there are far worse things one can do. What truly matters is how you handle this mistake. Take responsibility, face the consequences, and use this experience to move forward in life. Learn the hard way that pretending your way into a happy life is not possible. You must honor and respect what truly brings you happiness, or else many people may end up getting hurt. I believe you are aware of the potential consequences of your actions. It is crucial to disclose the truth to your boyfriend as soon as possible, because delaying it will only make the situation more difficult in the long run. Expressing your truth may cause temporary pain, but it's necessary for your own emotional well-being. Focus on activities and practices that can aid your personal growth and healing during this challenging time. Remember, you are still young, and this one mistake does not solely define who you are. Use it as a lesson to learn from your past and strive to become a better person. I wish you the best of luck.